Hi everybody, I have just posted a video that was just kind of revisiting the 3 card spread that I did with the Modern Tarot deck for myself last night. So if you haven't checked that out already and you're interested, head on over and go and have a look. So because I'd finished that, I obviously have mum jobs and whatever to do during the day, but I also felt that it was important to actually kind of go into my oracle cards. I just kind of got this vibe like, you seem to be making a bit of progress with the tarot. Jump back into the oracle cards. Now, I've had these cards for probably 3 or 4 years now. And when I first got them, I was really kind of like investing in them and wanting to spend time learning about them. But sadly, at that time, as much as I was really keen to explore the cards, I wasn't what we would call spiritually ready to do so. So I've sort of felt that it's sort of now's the time, as I'm kind of exploring the tarot cards more and becoming a little bit more familiar with it and really embracing the skills that come with that I should pop back into my oracle cards. So the cards I've got, these ones are beautiful. They're the Work Your Light oracle cards. Just comes in a little box like so, but they have really, really beautiful artwork. I don't know if you can see them on the back of that. You probably won't be able to. So when I kind of go through and show you, it'd be really nice. So today I'm going to do what's called a cosmic cross, which is basically like the Celtic cross spread, but it's a little bit different. The cosmic cross actually has 11 cards, whereas the Celtic cross will generally have 10. Again, every tarot reader is different. Some people like to kind of do it, they might use traditional parts of the Celtic cross, but they prefer to read it in different areas. They prefer to position cards in slightly different areas for different meanings, and that's fine. That's just how they read. That's what they're comfortable with, and that's the way that they get the best results when they do readings. So I'm no different. I'm kind of just following sort of the way it's sort of basically spread out, and I think the more I develop and the more comfortable I feel, then I'll sort of start to develop my own kind of ways of wanting to read. So I will actually pop in a photo for you to look at now, just so you can get an overview of this cosmic cross. There are a couple of cards placed slightly differently because they're just numbered differently in this one versus in the traditional Celtic. So I'll add that for you now. Get a bit of a snapshot on what that was. As you can see, I've popped the snapshot of the actual cross itself and then what my writing is, just so I can kind of guide myself on what these differences are between the cosmic and the Celtic cross, because the Celtic cross is kind of a little bit more past, present, future, and then goals, and then subconscious, whereas this one, it's kind of like technically the present is still in the same spot, but they've kind of got it differently in the way that it's sort of like, what's rising you, what's falling away in the ups and downs and so on and so forth. So it's more just kind of learning what language is going to be the best one to kind of learn the deck with, I guess. I know the more I develop, the more confident I get with each deck of cards, the easier it'll be for me, because I know exactly what areas I need to ask questions, how I need to ask them for each deck. But whilst I'm still learning, I prefer to just do it this way. It just helps me understand it a bit better, so I'm not I'm not confusing too much of it and then becoming bombarded and going, fuck this, I don't want to do it anymore. I kind of just want to separate it a little bit, just so I can feel comfortable with each deck and know what am I doing with each deck, what are my intentions with each reading that I do for myself. So so hopefully you were able to see those 2 photos, and we will get started. Okay, so this shuffle is going to be a little bit different to what you've seen me do with the other 2 decks. So before I get started, I'm just going to infuse my energy into the cards. Thank you, angels. Thank you, ancestors. Thank you, spirit guides. Thank you, spirit team. Thank you, loved ones. And thank you, positive energy that is surrounding me today. As I embrace learning more about the oracle cards, I do have a question for you, and that question will be asked on my internal dialogue. I ask that you help me decipher the messages that you wish to convey to me today. So these cards are much bigger than the other two. They're wider and they're a bit longer, so my shuffling is probably going to look a little bit more ridiculous. But this one is basically saying that you sort of need to go through, shuffle, put your energy into the deck, and then sort of divide it into 3 piles, then kind of just pull them back and then do like a big spread of all the cards, and then pull the cards out that you're drawn to, which I understand, but I don't feel that I get that good of a thing. But you know what, I'm open to learning. This is what it's all about, so I'm gonna try that. I'll just throw my card down. Okay, so you can see I've got 3 piles here. So essentially it's just picking it up in an even order and then kind of spreading the deck out in front of you. But again, I'm not very good at this sort of stuff, so it's probably just more about practice, if anything. Yeah, I like the way they're like, just spread it out in front of you and it'll all make sense. But yeah, it doesn't. So I'm not going to do it like that. I understand what it's trying to teach me, but I don't feel that I'm connecting with the cards in that way. So I'm going to just do what I feel comfortable with, what feels natural to me. Yeah, I guess, look, this is just being advised by somebody that's the way they want to read their oracle cards. Look, it might be correct, it might be incorrect, but at the end of the day, I don't feel anything when I have cards like that at all. I just kind of look at them and go, that's a mess. And that's just me, and that's fine. But I think what I might try and do is still do the card split. But I think what I might actually do is kind of just shuffle each little deck and see what cards come out, and just start placing them, I think. Positive energy around me today. Is there any messages from this mini deck that I need to know? I felt you wanted to come. Putting you there. You want to come to, where's my, I just want to make sure I'm placing them the right way because it's a little bit different. Up the top. Oop. Fours there. Six. I'm gonna have to move my cards along, I think. Just bear with me one sec. Okay, I just had to make some shuffling arrangements. So I sort of feel like the 3 piles for that was good. I feel like the next lot of cards I'm willing to just take as I shuffle through regularly. Did feel one that wanted to come out here. I'm placing you down there. Oh, hello. You just came flopping and flying out. Oh, there's 2. All right. Actually, no, I want to swap those. I want that one there and that one there. And this is why I prefer to... Oh, hello. Okay, I think we've got another 2. Yeah, we do. So I prefer to just kind of do like the regular shuffling. I don't know. you know, this is just me personally. I've just always felt more connected to the cards when I've been able to just shuffle them in my own way. Not saying that I'm right, not saying that I'm wrong. It's just that's the way I like to do it. And I think one thing that I've learnt through this journey and through the people that I've met in this journey who have been guiding me is that they kind of talk about the fact that you know you've got your own individual skills and things like that. You know, channel those how you will. You know, yes, there's a way to learn how to interpret cards and tarot, but you don't always have to do it that way necessarily. So, you know, I don't think that I'm doing this wrong or right. I think I'm doing it right for me in my learning process. And if it changes as I grow, it's great. If it doesn't, that's fine. I think it's about doing what's comfortable for you. So what I'm going to do is quickly show you exactly what this spread looks like, because it is, because these cards are bigger, I feel like I'm taking up more space. So just give me 2 secs. Okay, so there's sort of like the cross symbol there, and then I've got these 4 up here, and then the 11th card there. Okay, so I had to make a bit of room just to be able to do my notes as well. So I'm going to start by kind of like flipping each card and kind of taking down what resonates, what makes sense, what doesn't. I'm just going to kind of do that, you know, as I did with the other cards that I've done with my other tarot decks. So yeah, let's have a look. So present, mirror. This one's a good one. Who or what is triggering you? So presently it could be, what I'm kind of getting from that is, sorry, I have a cranky child. I'll have to come back to this later. Okay, sorry. Cranky toddler, didn't want to have to get changed. You know, the usual story. So I had just literally just flipped my first card, which was mirror. So who or what is triggering you? The irony in that was that my child was screaming at the same time. So look, there are days where I just kind of go, oh my God, why are you always crying all the time? Seriously. I don't know. I swear it's like they know you're trying to do something for you in the small chances that you do get, and they have to be rat bags about it. But anyway, so what did I get? Mirror. Who or what is triggering you? And that's for my present. I might actually have to just think about that a little bit, because I don't feel like I'm in a place where I'm feeling triggered. I actually feel more like I'm in a place of like that growth or that next stage following that. So I might just sort of pause it for 1 sec and just see what kind of energy I get from the card a little bit, because I'm just sort of I'm not quite picking up on what that could potentially be saying. However, being that this is okay, I'm back. What I found kind of funny, it really shouldn't be funny, but you know, like the mirror card, which was what I'd pull up for my present, which is like who or what is triggering you. The irony in the fact that my 2-year-old was having a massive tantrum because he didn't want to get changed, and yeah, it's just sort of funny. It's funny to me anyway. Yeah, so I was sort of thinking about, you know, am I going to do this the same way that I read, or that I have been reading my tarot deck, but I'm actually feeling like it might be more beneficial to kind of pull up every card, and then just kind of, as I pull up each card, if I get anything or not, because this present one, like in terms of the grand scheme of things, I don't feel anything necessarily with that, but that's not to say that in 2 hours time something pops up, and I'm not going to force messages to come through if they're not meant to, or if I need to have time to actually look at the whole big picture and like kind of see what works. So my card 2, which was small book. Here it is. Oh, yeah. So what's your soul purpose or calling? So that's the question. Just have a little read of what that question says on the card. It's literally like the same thing. So card 2, what is your soul purpose or calling? What did I get for card 2? Answer the call. What is your soul calling you to do? Okay. I'm actually starting to wonder whether the mirror and answer the call potentially are related to something that I have mentioned in other readings where I felt like I'm at an impasse. So to kind of give some context, there's a job offer for me, which I have talked about, the number 13 in another video that relates to this. But this is somewhere where I have lived experience. And it's not necessarily lived experience as the person firsthand experiencing this particular challenge. This has been as somebody who has been impacted by the choices of somebody else, predominantly negative ones, but also coming past that and then being a support person for that person in those challenges as well. So this role essentially is like a traineeship within this type of thing, which is an area that I'm really keen to learn more about. You know, and I feel that almost helps me learn and grow and actually let go of my triggers. So I'm just wondering if potentially there's a connection there. That might be something that I have to take a bit of time to think about. Yeah, I'm thinking that there is a connection there. I'm just kind of like, just quickly jotting down like connection. And this is why I was kind of saying, like, sometimes when you just pick up one card, you're like, well, fuck, I don't know what that's even, I can't even, there's nothing that I can like pinpoint that onto. But now that I've kind of got 2 cards happening, it's starting to make maybe a little bit of sense. It's sort of getting the brain ticking. I'm just writing down those few little things that I've just literally just said, because I think the more I get through this and I'm able to reflect on those notes, and even like in a week's time potentially I can sit here and go, I understand all of this now. I know it's probably boring as batshit for everybody watching, or for all of the nobody watching. That's fine. So which one's my card 3 in this? That's the top one. All right, just let me find my bearings. Okay, so we've got our 3rd card, which is actually right up the top of the cross, and that one was sort of like what's rising you, like what's helping you ascend, might be a good word. Don't dim to fit in. How are you dimming your light in order to fit in? Ooh, I don't know, what is that? Don't dim your light to fit in. Is that telling me that, yeah, be yourself is what I get from this. Be yourself, like be your authentic you. Be authentic you is sort of what I heard. Don't try to fit the mold. Which is, you know, and I mean, this is the thing with oracle cards. They're not, they're a little bit different in the way that the tarot kind of has, you know, cards have individual meanings and they can have multiple different layers of meaning. Whereas the oracle, it's more about giving you the message, right? So, you know, like you look at the, like I'll just pick up this card again, but you look at it, it kind of talks about what kind of card it is. And then it has a question there. So it's helping you kind of sit there and go over and go, okay, well, what's this about? And it's one of those things that you will, like I just did then, sometimes you just got to take a minute to kind of go, okay, what's the question really asking me to think about? And that was what I got. Be the authentic you. Don't try to fit in or try to fit the mold. Because that's not going to work. So I guess that's what's rising me up, is the fact that I'm actually in a place where I'm kind of like, look, if you like me, you like me. If you don't, you don't. I don't really give a shit. I'm just happy being me, and I'm happy doing my own thing. And it's like with these videos, I'm not recording it to profess that I know everything. I'm recording it because I want to document my journey. I want to be able to look back on these and kind of see where I started and how I've grown. And you know, one of the messages I've had before is to kind of like share your journey, share the positivity. Like, you know, that's sort of what I'm getting. So, you know, I think that's kind of what fits in with this card up here, is that it's like, don't stress about fitting in, just be you, just do you, and fuck the haters, basically. All right, let's have a look at card number 4, which was what's falling away. So that one's right at the bottom. Oh, well, that's an interesting one. Divine orchestration, helpers in the subtle realms, is falling away. Okay, I'm not quite sure. What's falling away, I don't feel like that is falling away necessarily. I feel like it's actually, I heard the word subconscious, so I'm sort of thinking that potentially maybe I'm trying to read it too much like what the way this person's put it, and maybe I need to kind of have my own way of setting it out and my own way of seeing things. I think the past, present and future cards should sort of be where they are because they line up in a 3, but in terms of up and down, because yeah, that's I mean, it's a beautiful card, don't get me wrong, but it just seems a bit strange that it would be falling away. And I'm curious to see what that means over the coming days, just to see how else I can interpret that. But I'm kind of getting that it's more about the subconscious mind rather than anything falling away. Like maybe is it falling into the subconscious mind, or I'm not sure. I might have to come back to that one. And because these cards, I haven't actually really even looked at them for years, that it's like, oh shit, okay, what am I doing here? What are these cards doing again? Soul Gifts is number 5, which is over here. The ever unfolding rose, cracked open. It's happening for you, not to you. See, I almost feel like some of these cards are, I mean, it's absolutely beautiful, don't get me wrong. Maybe am I overthinking the fact that maybe I'm trying to read this too much like a Celtic spread rather than divine messages. But I think that's the other thing, is you've got to be able to make them make sense too. And I'm not sure that this is making much sense to me, but in saying that, it's a whole new thing, so maybe it's not meant to be. It comes back to the moon card. Maybe you don't need to know all the answers, Heather. Like soul gifts, yeah. Okay, I'm not quite sure what to make of that one. I'm not even really getting any vibe off that. That one feels more like it's supposed to be maybe down here in that, but I don't know. We'll just keep going. Let's just find what we've got. Before I move on, what was this one? Card 6. What is being manifested? Warrior woman, have you answered your deepest calling? So what I'm getting, I guess what the correlation is between a lot of these cards is it's saying, are you really thinking about where your soul purpose is? Are you really thinking about where you can best serve yourself and best serve others, potentially? Maybe that's the whole message, and I'm just getting the snippets of those. There's just a few that I'm just a bit confused on how they would actually fit in terms of the cross, because they seem a bit higgledy-piggledy, but that's okay. All right, so we move on to 7, which is talking about like a past life influence. Oh no, it's not. Sorry. What's the next step? So 7 was down the bottom. Boundaries. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? So, yeah, boundary. Now, look, probably, I would say probably more career side. Potentially, if I'm thinking about the thing that potentially connected the first and the second card, I'd say maybe it's even personal. I don't like the word like saying personal life, but like my personal interactions. I also got home life just then. Okay, and number 8 was the past influences. Past influence, inner temple. Tune into the portal of your heart. So past influences, I mean, they're just beautiful cards. I almost just feel like sitting here looking at all the cards because they're really beautiful. Tune into the portal of your heart. So that was a past influence. Well, that it actually, oh, past life influence. Okay, yeah. Well, that would probably make sense. Devotion, yeah. Yeah, but see, I can actually see, now that I think about it, there was another reading I did the other day, and I very clearly remember picking it up and going, sometimes you've just got to go with your heart and not your head, because sometimes your head is, your brain is programmed to recognize fear and to essentially run away from it, or like to, you know, to get you out of like dangerous and fearful situations. Like, we know that. But I think that card was also kind of saying, like, sometimes just because your head says that this is what I'm programmed to do and this is why, doesn't always mean it's right. So what I'm kind of getting from this past life one is potentially there's that connection there. Yeah, I am going to have to just like keep poking through this, because God, I can't even pick the bloody cards up. There we go. Card 9, what do you need to know? Pillar of light, your vibration is rising. You are the oracle. That's beautiful. That's a really pretty card, actually. That's really gorgeous. Well, I'm glad that my vibration's rising. I don't think I would be doing this if it wasn't. So I think it's just nice to have, it's nice to have that confirmation sometimes, just even if the rest of it's not making sense. If you just get that one that makes sense, sometimes when you figure out how you're supposed to read different messages, it makes more, yeah, I don't want to keep saying make sense all the time, but yeah, high vibration, okay, rising. I kind of just got rising from the ashes then, but I don't know why that's come up, but I'll keep that in mind. Number 10, what were you? Hopes and fears. Protection, call back your power, cut the cords, soul retrieval. So there you go. So I guess that's probably a hope. That I'm taking what I think is coming from that. Yeah, I think it works in, I suppose, with the one that I just pulled before, which was about the vibration rising, and now you can call back your power and kind of be like, yep, I'm ascending to be able to communicate and learn. Maybe that's what it's all about. Maybe it's all about learning, and that's probably why everything, there's probably different parts of it that I still would have to just check in the deck to just see if there are multiple meanings for some of these cards, because some of them it's a bit like, okay, I'm not quite sure how to interpret that. Yeah, protection, call back power. And then 11 was the potential outcome. Okay, so it's essentially just got like an extra step, really. Take a break. A life's work, not a season. Get off the treadmill. So that was quite pretty as well. They're just beautiful cards, actually, I have to say. Even if I don't fully understand them yet, they're just fun to look at. Take a break. Okay. Not quite sure about that one, but I feel like I've been taking a break for a while. Maybe I need to take a break from overthinking. Maybe that's what it's telling me. Yeah. It sort of makes sense. I think this would be something that I have to really like cross-check with my booklet and just make sure that I'm not missing something that I can't seem to pick up. But then again, look, hey, even though I've asked the question for myself, if any of this resonates for you, absolutely take it. Because maybe that's what it is. Maybe this is why there are certain spots that are not really, I'm not quite understanding how to interpret them, because maybe they're not meant for me. Maybe you were meant to see this and those few little messages have darted in because they're like, well, we don't know where to go. Yeah, and if they are, and they resonate with you and you understand them, that's awesome. I hope that they are helpful for you if they do come across to you. And if they do, like if you find something resonates, even if it was just one card that you kind of go, oh, actually, you know what, that would resonate with me in this part of my life or that part of my life, or this is something here or there, like just pop a comment in or something and let me know, because it'd be interesting, because I feel like, even though I was asking for me, I'm just wondering if potentially part of the collectives come in there as well, because there's just some things that I'm just, at this point, I'm struggling to interpret. And it's not to say that it's not meant for me. I'm sure it is in some way. I'm just not understanding how to read these cards as well and interpret the message correctly for me. But yeah, thanks again for joining me. Yeah, I think what I might do is I will post this video, and then potentially what I'll do is I'll give it a couple of days. I will revisit what I've pulled today and use my notes, and then I might, if in a couple of days or even a week or something like that, if it starts to make sense and I'm able to kind of connect it all, I'll do a video on it and let you all know how I went. Of course, if any of this resonated with you at all, please just leave me a comment. Obviously, like and subscribe too if you're interested in following along. But yeah, if something resonated with you, I'd love to hear, because sometimes, I don't know, I just kept getting this feeling that maybe there was somebody that was meant to see this today, because that's what I'm kind of hearing now, is like somebody else is meant to see this and some of this is for them. So any of those cards in any of those orders, like, just let me know, and then yeah, we can chat about it, I'm sure, if you'd like to. If not, that's fine. Yeah, but I'll give myself a couple of days to really take in what I'm seeing, and I'll do a follow-up. I think that might be a good idea. Thanks for joining me. I hope you had a nice day, and whoever needed this message today, I hope this finds you well, and obviously with love, because I'm only about working the light and with love. Yeah, have a great day, and don't forget, it is the waxing crescent moon. Set your intentions today if you're planning on manifesting, because on the 17th we have the first quarter moon. So anything that you want to manifest, if you've made that decision, set your clear goals today, and hopefully we can see how we go in the moon cycle, and I will catch you for the waxing crescent moon cycle as well.